Good evening, everybody. Could you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge of Allegiance. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the September 3rd, 2024 Common Council meeting. Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call, please?
Blinker.
Here.
Nargi. Here. Reynolds.
Here.
Weiss. Brown.
Here.
Allersmeyer.
Here.
Williamson.
Here.
Downing.
Here.
Snyder. Quorum present.
All right, thank you very much. First order of business, can I entertain a motion to suspend the current meeting?
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. And this is for ordinance 2024-33.
An ordinance to vacate a portion of the public right-of-way in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Are there any comments or questions from the public? It says a public hearing. Public is invited to speak. Any comments or questions from the public? Seeing none, hearing none, entertain a motion to reconvene.
I move we reconvene.
Motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Moving on for the approval of the meeting minutes from our previous meeting from August 5th, 2024. Entertain a motion for approval.
I move we hear and approve the minutes of the August 5th meeting as communicated.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Moving on. We've got the presentation and disposal of claims.
There are none.
We've got the presentation of petitions and communications.
There are none.
Reports of city officers on file with the city clerk's office.
Appears there's none this month.
There is none this
Yeah.
month. It's
I
an
know.
Easy month. All right, moving on to ordinances for first reading. Ordinance 2024-40.
An ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana to rezone certain real estate from R2 to MRU.
Is there the petitioner here to speak upon this?
I move
Oh,
we
sorry.
hear 2024.
Thank you.
2024-40 on first reading.
Second.
Motion and second. A little rusty
Yes.
now.
Yes.
You know. Thank you. I missed last meeting. Nico.
My name is Holland Blackburn. I am the resident of 900 North 20th Street. I currently own and operate Holland Blackburn Counseling Services, LLC, and I'm proposing to rezone it from residential to medical. And also on the weekends to be able to use it for a transient house rental for supplemental income. I think that's it.
Very good.
Yeah.
Do we have any comments or questions from the council? And then, quick question. This is a medical office that you're using, and you're a licensed therapist, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, thank you very much. And how long have you been conducting business at that location?
Almost a year.
Okay,
Yeah.
quite some time. Okay. Very good. Any comments or questions from the council? Comments or questions from the audience? All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing none. All in favor?
No, roll call. Okay.
Oh, roll call. Thank you.
Clinker.
Aye.
Nargi. Aye. Reynolds.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Or just passes 7-0.
All right. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving on to ordinance 2024-41.
An ordinance vacation a portion of 17th Street in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Mr. Reynolds.
Move to hear first reading ordinance 2024-41.
Mr. Brown.
Second.
Motion and second.
Ready for him?
Yes, ma'am, please.
All right. In front of you, you have an ordinance requesting the vacation of a portion of 17th Street. This is actually land. It's not developed as 17th Street. This is old railroad corridor land. This is on the north side of Salem. There are two undeveloped railroad corridor parcels there. We had engaged T-Bird Engineering to do survey work for that property in preparation of potential future redevelopment. And during that process, it was discovered that there is a portion of 17th Street that is still unvacated within that real estate. So we are requesting to go ahead and vacate that as we prepare it for possible future uses.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, or I'm sorry, Counselor.
We've been loaded, Jackie.
Sorry. I'll get in my groove as soon as the meeting's about over. I do apologize. It's been a long 3-day weekend. Any discussion on the proposed ordinance 2024-41? Hearing anything from the council? Hearing anything from the public?
I have in the future, can we make these maps a little plainer? Because I'm around this piece of land all the time. It's so difficult to understand where this is.
And that is, and that's part of what we're doing. I mean, that section of old railroad corridor land in particular is very messy. I think he referred to it as a spaghetti bowl, the surveyor did when they were looking at it. So yes, this one is unfortunately a little more difficult, but that's just because there is a lot of kind of issues out there in that area. So.
To tell you.
We will get you a bigger map
Yep.
next time.
Yep.
Salem, Erie.
I did make it a point to drive out there today, and it's a 200 square foot, and it took me a few minutes to realize which parcels that
Exactly
were.
where it is.
Yeah, talking about, so. All right, any other comments or questions from the council? Any comments or questions from the public? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi. Aye. Reynolds.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 7-0.
Thank you, and it appears that this particular ordinance, we need to have a public hearing October 7th at 6:01 p.m.
So
Mr.
moved.
Mr. Clinker, can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Moving on to ordinance 2024-42.
An ordinance for an additional appropriation of the American Rescue Plan Grant Fund number 1760.
Counselor.
We need to.
Mr. President, I move we hear and approve ordinance 2024-42.
Second.
Thank you. Counselor, you have the floor.
Okay. All right. So what you have in front of you is an additional appropriation of our American Rescue Plan funds. This appropriation is a reappropriation of about $4.5 million of funds that were previously appropriated but not yet spent, and then an additional appropriation, bringing the total appropriated amount to $8,506,321. These funds will be used on completing the previously identified projects of the Weal Ridge Storage Tower, the Glick Wellfield improvements, Service Area 11B utility expansion, and then also some trails and miscellaneous paving projects.
Very good. Thank you. Is any comments or questions from the council? Comments or questions from the public? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call, please?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi. Aye. Reynolds.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 7-0.
And this ordinance as well, 2024-42, will need to have a public hearing set for October 7th at 6:02 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Moving on, ordinance for second reading, ordinance 2024-33.
An ordinance to vacate a portion of the public right-of-way in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Thank you.
You want to get this on the table?
You can do it.
Mr. Downey, please.
This,
I move to hear ordinance 2024-33.
Thank you. Can I have a second? Thank you. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
He's just messing with you.
I'm messing with you this way. Yes, sir, go ahead. All right, Riley T. Schreider.
Brad Neely with RTS Law here for the petitioners, First Baptist Church in Brent Parks. Petitioners own all of the property to the east and west of this alley that connects Brown Street and North Street to the north and south. The primary purpose of this petition is to vacate that entire alley to allow kids that attend the church's daycare service to have more safe crossing into the daycare. Petitioner's knowledge, city's not maintaining the alley, mainly not removing the snow in the winter. The vacation meets all of the requirements of the state statute, won't hinder the growth or development of the neighborhood in which it is located, won't make access to any lands by public way difficult or inconvenient, won't hinder any access to church, school, or other public building, won't hinder the use of any public way in the neighborhood or any contiguous neighborhoods. All utilities within the alley will remain. We discussed this with the engineer's office and the city's attorney, not aware of any issues or concerns. So we respectfully request your approval. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Have any comments or questions from the council? Any comments or questions from the audience? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 7-0.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinance 2024-34.
An ordinance amending the certain section of the Title 10 Animals.
Thank you. Mr. Brown.
Mr. President, I move that we hear and approve ordinance 2024-34.
Second.
Thank you, ma'am. Counselor?
All right, got it that time. So we are here on second reading. Apologize. With some updates to our animal control ordinances. As we've talked about before, the new animal shelter is up and running. I do want to congratulate Board President Sharon Dole, who's in the audience today, of the new shelter, of the good ribbon cutting, and hopefully the operations are going smoothly. But as part of that process, Lafayette, West Lafayette, and Tippecanoe County, we all met for a little over a year to discuss updates to our respective animal control ordinances to bring some continuity and uniformity where it was appropriate between all three agencies. What you have in front of you today is a culmination of that. Some of the more major items that are addressed. We have a new community cat program that is part of it, which is very similar to our on-the-books trap, neuter, and release. There is a uniform animal control officer's fee to be collected by the shelter. It had been $15. It is now $25, which is the fee that is charged across all three agencies. It also clarified a consistent 5-day stray hold when animals are brought in as strays to the shelters, and then made some other miscellaneous and changes to the ordinance. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you for that explanation. Any comments or questions from the council? I got a quick comment. I want to say thanks for sending out the email you did a few weeks ago with the highlighted change in verbiage. That was extremely helpful. So thank you for doing that. Any comments or questions from the public? Seeing and hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 7-0.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinance 2024-35.
I move in here, we hear and approve ordinance 2024-35.
Second.
Thank you.
We're all running a day late.
Ordinance 2024-35, an amendment to ordinance number 2010-11 establishing a local St. Mary's 1302 South Street Historic District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Mr. Carson.
Yes, good evening. Dennis Carson, Economic Development Director. This ordinance and the following four are all local historic districts to be established. These are the second reading, so they were detailed in the previous meeting in August, so I won't go through them again. But these are all voluntary by the petitioner, and they've all been approved by the Historic Preservation Commission. So happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you, Dennis. Any comments or questions from the council? Comments or questions from the audience? Seeing and hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 7-0.
All right, moving on to ordinance 2024-36. Mr. Clinker.
Move we hear ordinance 2024-36 on second reading.
Second.
Thank you.
An amendment to ordinance number 2010-11 establishing a local Ellsworth 717 Columbia Street Historic District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Dennis, you interested? Do we have any comment or anything, or you want to go over?
No.
Okay.
Any other questions, though?
The old house of Fitzgerald.
Got it. Got it.
They're working on it today.
Any comments or questions from the council? Comments or questions from the audience? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 7-0.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinance 2024-37. Mr. Reynolds.
Move to hear on second reading ordinance 2024-37.
Mr. Brown. Thank you, sir.
An amendment to ordinance 2010-11 establishing a local Perrin Cason Street, 204 Tinkler Street, Historic District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Any comments or questions from the council? Comments or questions from the audience? Seeing, hearing none, Madam Clerk, will you conduct a roll call?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 7-0.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinance 2024-38. Melissa.
I move we hear ordinance 2024-38 on second reading.
Second.
Thank you.
An amendment to ordinance number 2010-11, inclusion of certain property in the local Perrin North Historic District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Any comments or questions from the council? Comments or questions from the audience? Seeing and hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you
Yes.
conduct a roll call? Thank you.
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 7-0.
All right, very good. Moving on to the last ordinance, 2024-39. Mr. Clinker.
We got 38 already? Okay. Ordinance 2024-39. Hear it on second reading, please.
Second?
Thank you.
An amendment to ordinance number 2010-11, inclusion of certain property in the local Centennial Historic District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Any comments or questions from the council? Quick question, this point of clarification. These are all volunteer, correct?
Yes, correct. They're all voluntary.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Any comments or questions from the audience? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 7-0.
Very good. Looks like we have one order of item of business to set a public hearing for our budget for October the 5th at 5 p.m. October the 10th at 5 p.m.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Very good. Moving on. Mr. Indy, reports to the standing committees. Reports to special committees. Reports by the mayor.
Nope.
Miscellaneous new business. Any councilmen or women reports? Public comments. Do we have any public comments?
Done.
Hi.
Good evening. Can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes. Go ahead and put this up and. Okay. Okay. This is alarming news. My name is Tyler Beach. Hello. And the address is 823 Park East Boulevard, Suite A, Lafayette, Indiana 47905. I would like to address the city about the conduct of the county, law officials, and medical staff and medical professionals within the mental health facility, acts of deception within the court, and unfortunately attempted homicide. I'm still alive, but what I believe it to be is an attempted murder that has spanned from Delaware County from April 26, 2021, where I was falsely imprisoned in excessive bail, where I was held in segregation for 225 days 2 years later, outside of the scope of common practice of the state's court. They let me out to shower maybe 15 times, excuse me. In 225 days, I was raped by the guards and by other member who was this private consumer would come in, and by authority of the licensing and trusts of these phones that we use the terms and conditions, it says that they may act maliciously and they may assign people to act maliciously who agree to use the terms and conditions of their licensing trust providers for the cell phone software. Well, whoever this trust is, if not one, many, have been targeting me. Again, with being locked in segregation and then bid into assault that happened, the battery. I asked for trial. I was refused trial. The charges were dismissed. For over a year now, I've sought the assistance of professionals, speaking to the senators, Consumer Reports, representative, been able to find no help with congressmen or attorneys. I believe that has to do with the strategic attacks and targeting of the people that I pursue or approach. From there, even with Tippecanoe County, where I was completing, and my medical plan is right here. I have a medical diagnostics and a medical treatment plan. I work with the state insurance company. They weren't, appropriately listening to me when I said that, and when I addressed the court, the mental health court, for an agreement that I made on my plea agreement was that I would pursue and follow the assessment of the psychologist that I am. There are two in there, Melissa and Candace Tetzloff and Melissa Elise. They have been, for the past 2 years, also targeting me, very deceptive of their actions and fraudulent. I noticed that the majority of those in their case management and care are heavily and overly medicated, and this is to do with the studies and practices that I've had, the liberal studies of a patron, student, and resident of Indiana. I practice and study and read much. Now, in the murder, I have made mistakes that almost cost me my life and cost the lives of others. I have come to the courts to say that. I have come to the representative. I have proved my innocence and my liberal respect for the republic. I have false protection orders that state that the woman who gave me a heart exam, she said that I assaulted her children, attempting to speak with them. Never have done such a thing. And then it's written in here that it's a false, it's fraudulent claim that was passed to Mrs. McVeigh's. I have filed 3 appeals, and still she tells me no. Mrs. McVeigh also sent me to the mental institution at Riverbend, where I was assessed. I was found to be stable. I was not medicated, but I was also raped there by a woman. They heavily sedated, and I found finger bones tied to the fence. 17 strands of yarns that were tied to the fence. 4 of the strands still had finger bones tied to those fences. So something bad had happened there. I made the report to the state police, the local authority, and the county sheriff's department, where I was again acted to deceive, deceptively handled with this situation. From there, the medical reports to the health department, the joint commissions have come back with no response. And all my appeals for housing, I have a housing choice voucher. I'm rejected for, as I'm often told, quit telling on us. We want you to mate with us. Now, these are groups of the communist deceivers or the anonymous deceivers who are of this communion. And I said, if you guys want to practice communism, please be my guest, but I would like you to practice it with civil authority rather than criminal authority. And then I would also like you to take the approach to the executive order where we mind the term cost of living rather than wages and income. The cost of living in the state of Indiana and the local municipal IRS finds that I have the disability, not disability, the difference between the I and the Y. One is capable, the other one is not capable. Disability is capable, and I am capable. Now, I brought to their attention the Social Security Administration, which I wasn't heard, that we should execute the term to the public in the municipal power, that we should address it as cost of living rather than competitive wages, because I'm unable to find anything. And even with my housing choice voucher, I still haven't had a home. And the attempts continue everywhere I go by social media and
Sir, do you have a specific ask you would like to ask the city council, or your 3 minutes is up?
Okay. I do not, sir.
Okay. Very good.
5 minutes and 30 seconds.
Right. We appreciate your comments, so
Okay.
thank you. Do we have any more public comment? Seeing none.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
Just 1 second.
We got
I'm
one.
sorry. Come on up.
Come on. Yep.
I apologize.
Not a problem. Sorry, I'm late. My name is Chancellor Rote. I was born and raised here. The concern I have is...
Can we get an address, sir? I'm sorry.
Address, though.
What was that?
Your address.
Oh, my address is 122 Detchon Court. I own the house. My question is, when are we going to say as a community, when is enough on some of these neighborhoods, such as Romney Meadows, Cambridge Estates? Every week we're hearing somebody got shot, somebody got stabbed. It's by state statute, if we don't feel safe as a public because of these locations, something needs to be addressed. Romney Meadows has been like that since before they changed their name. Nothing's changed. I hear multiple times a week shootings, stabbings, arrests, drugs. We got to say enough is enough. If we can't do something about it, then we need to close it down, move somebody else in charge of it, do something about it. It's gotten to the point now where I don't feel safe walking around town. I don't trust my kids to be out around town without me, and that's saying something. Like I said, I love Lafayette. I've come back. I've done 8 years in the Army, and I still count Lafayette as my home. I would like something done about this, whether it be new ownership, new rules, new laws. Something needs to be changed to be addressed. And those are just 3 locations that I know of just this week. We've heard in the news, shootings, stabbings, drugs, just an example. So I'm going to leave it with you guys. I just wanted to make sure I make myself present for it.
We appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more public comments? Scan the crowd. Seeing none, Mr. Clinker.
Move for adjournment?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you.